This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline dreams, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the drivers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are rolling motor fire. Build not borrowed, that's the creed written deep in our veins. We turn busted cars into legends and rust into fame. From late night garage grind to race day stadium roars, every scar on our knuckles unlocked 1,000 doors. We don't back down, we don't break, we don't fold. Every ride we build tells a story worth gold. This is for the ones who were raised on gasoline trains, for the lug nuts holding tight to the wild red line scenes, for the families, the drivers, the wrench turning crews, for the chrome, the smoke, and the ones who refuse to lose. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, that's who we are. We're a culture, we're a brotherhood, we are rolling motor fire. Here's to the nights when the world said slow down, but the engine said no when we stood our ground. To the ones who grew up rich and when the rest took the easy way, we found our path in the piston noise and we'll ride it every day. Pedal to the metal, this is where we belong. Cars, trucks, monster trucks, loud and strong. Passion, pride, lug nuts, side by side. If you love what you drive, then ride, ride, ride. This is for the legends that started in dusty garages, for the kids who chase dreams through the scars and collages, for the racers who gave everything without fail, and the fans who stand proud when the engines wail. Where horsepower meets heart, yeah, this ain't a phase. It's our passion, our culture, and we'll live it to the grave. Pedal to the metal, forever in our veins. So look out, we're only getting louder from here. Nothing built strong was ever built out of fear. The road is wide open and the fire won't slow, because this isn't a hobby, this is the only life we know. Pedal down, heads high, we're not done. Pedal down, heads high, pedal down.
Hey guys, what's up? What's up, man? How y'all doing tonight? Good to see you out there, man. I couldn't get my intro working. I don't know what was wrong. I really don't. Sean Green's in the house. BJ Johnson in the house. Hey BJ, I really appreciate you, man. Hey guys, come on now. Wait a minute. I'm conversating with BJ, regardless. Okay, come on. Let's keep. How y'all doing, man? Okay, how you doing? You guys doing good? It's good to see you, man. It's really good to see you guys. Beer Garden Rowdy's in the house. What's happening, Mezzanine? You guys doing good up there? You need anything? No? Hey, bartender, buy them a round up there and put it on BJ Johnson's tab. He's got a lot of money. Yeah, go ahead. That'll be fine. And if he don't, Sean Green does, okay? What's up, Carter? How you guys doing? You guys doing okay? All right, well, let's just bring it down a little bit here. Let's bring it down a little bit. And Scott Goodview, I don't see Scott Goodview on here. Carter, are you just teasing me? Are you taunting me, Carter? I don't see Scott Goodview on here. But if he's here, hi, Scotty. Hi, Scotty. But anyway, I got my brother from another mother in here, man, Mr. B.J. Johnson, man, and he's telling me, my hair's looking good. Thank you, B.J. You're the man. You are the man, regardless. Regardless, man, regardless. Sean Green, how you been, man? It's the crowd is amazing. Uh, you know what? Your beer tab hasn't been paid, so you can't be buying any more beer. You kind of bought too many ones the last time, so you got to pay your tab. But anyway, guys, we got a good show tonight, man. We got a longtime friend of mine. Of course, all these guys are. Call them friends. Maybe we're not, but we are with me and Larry. Larry and I started doing shows a long time ago together, man, and he's an amazing dude. He really is. And when he got behind the wheel, we had to get the arena stretcher out and stretch the arena and give him a little bit more room because damn, the boy could drive. The boy could drive. I mean, he could drive, man. And it was fun. It was really fun watching him. I remember the first show we did together, and he was driving for a gentleman by the name of Don King. And he had won one of the events, and I went up to him to interview, and he's like, I don't do interviews. I said, dude, you better learn how, man. You better learn how because you're going to win a lot of this stuff, and you're going to have to learn how to give interviews because your fans like it. And you know what? He turned out to be a great interviewer, man. And Carter took care of your last tab. Oh, okay, all right. Well, then you and Carter can get together and buy beers for the rowdies, the beer garden rowdies down there. That's fine. But anyway, he's going to be on. We're going to have a great time. We're going to talk about a little bit of everything, man. He's done a little bit of everything in the monster truck world, and now he's just chilling, man. Well, he ain't chilling. He's always working hard. He's a hard worker, and he has a business. Hello, Robert Haas. How are you, my brother? Good to see you. I hope you had a great day today, man. And he says, I'm sitting in a dining room of a cruise ship watching your show. Wow, out on the seas, bro. Out on the seas. We're out on the ocean, man, watching Pedal to the Metal. That's good. That's my brother, man, Robert House in the house. But anyway, he's going to be on, and we're going to talk about old times. And he's going to be on at 6 o'clock. We're going to get him done early because, he's farther east and he's 2 hours ahead of us, and we're going to go ahead and let him have a little extra sleep tonight. So, anyway, got good news, man. Of course, we got on the 12th, we got Halle Bear. She's going to be on, Lady of Auctioneering here in Colorado. I just booked a gentleman by the name of Dean Gunther. Dean Gunther's going to be on the show on the 16th, and he's another auctioneer friend of ours, and we're going to have him on the show. And we're still booking. We're still booking away. So it's going to be a good one, man. It's going to be a good month, and I look forward to it. Of course, at the end of the month, I go to Minot, North Dakota, and that's a good sale. That's going to be a good sale. We'll be doing some live from there, and just having a good time. I get to hang out with my boy, and me and him are going to go and watch some stock car racing and drink some beers, and just have a good time, man. Going to take Joaquin Crago with us, and it's always a good time when we get to hang out together. So I don't get to spend much time with him right there. There's Scotty Goodview. He finally come in there. Hi, Miss Carter. Anyway, we got a really good show tonight, guys. I mean, really good show. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's I've had so many different experiences with Larry. He just watching him grow in the driving and stuff like that. And there at the end, when I'd been more retired than anything when he was driving, and I don't know. I don't know that for sure, Scotty. That might be that's the $1 million question, Mr. Goodview. Is he? Hi, Sydney. Sydney. Excuse me. I don't have no gum, Sydney. Well, I take that back. I got gum cigarettes, man. That's all I got, baby girl. But it's good to see you on here. I'm glad you're on here. I really am. When your daddy told me that you were going to be on here, I was like, all right. The first thing out of my mouth was, but I don't have no gum. But I remember I got gum cigarettes, so I'll have to send you some. So anyway, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Really are. And then I got to meet Larry's wife, Shannon, and my goodness, that girl could drive, man. She was just great behind the wheel. I didn't get to do a lot of shows with her because she had come on later on towards the end of my career, and I just didn't get a chance to work with her very much. But followed her during her career and stuff, and it was really good to see her and Larry in the same arena at the same time. So it was always fun. So. But we got about 5 minutes before we call Larry, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to pay some bills right fast, and we'll be back here in just a minute.
You're listening to Pedal to the Metal. Motors and music. Where the engines are loud and the music hits just as hard. Classic cars, hot rods, monster trucks, and the stories behind the builds. Mixed with the music that fuels the ride. From the show field to the arena floor, we bring you the horsepower and the center to match. Stick around, we got more coming your way. But first, a word from our sponsors.
Attention hot rodders, custom builders, truck fans, and motorcycle riders! Get ready for the White Buffalo Car Show coming to downtown Snyder, Texas on Saturday, October 3rd, 2026. Cruise into the heart of Snyder and enjoy a full day packed with classic cars, custom trucks, motorcycles, live music, great food, vendors, shopping around the square, and fun for the whole family. With 25 classes, awards, and even a furthest traveled award, there's something for every kind of ride. Registration is just $20, and all proceeds stay local to support area charities and community programs. And don't miss your chance to meet Texas rich with C10 America during this huge downtown celebration. Plus, cruise into the Friday night meet and greet on October 2nd before the band starts rocking. So polish up that chrome, shine those wheels, and head to the White Buffalo Car Show in downtown Snyder, Texas! The White Buffalo Car Show, where horsepower, hometown pride, and Texas tradition come together.
When your equipment goes down, your whole day comes to a stop. That's where Garner Repair comes in. Owned and operated by Austin Garner, Garner Repair brings professional, reliable mobile equipment repair right to you. No hauling, no waiting, no wasted time. From engine repair to hydraulic systems to electrical diagnostics and full preventative maintenance, Garner Repair keeps your equipment running strong. Whether you're on a job site, a ranch, or out in the field, Austin shows up ready to get the job done right the first time. Fast response, honest work, dependable service you can trust.
Call 303-588-7940. That's 303-588-7940.
Or email garnerrepair@gmail.com. Garner Repair, keeping your equipment moving so you can keep moving forward.
Looking for artwork that stands out from the crowd? Whether you're building a brand, promoting your business, or creating something truly one of a kind, Digitized Ink Co. brings your ideas to life with professional digital artwork and custom design services. From logos and graphics to custom illustrations and creative designs that leave a lasting impression. Digitized Ink Co. combines today's technology
with traditional artistic values to give every project the attention it deserves. Need a fresh new look for your business, club, team, or special event? Let Digitized Ink Co. create something you'll be proud to show off. Call today at 435-650-7657. Visit digitizedinkco.com or email digitizedinkco@gmail.com. Digitized Ink Co. Cutting edge design. Tready. And now, we return to pedal to the metal. Motors and music. With your host, Roller.
All right, we're back. And Sean Green, it's not gum menthol, it's gum grape, okay? I gave up the menthol. It was just killing me, man. It was just too hard on me. You know, I love it that Larry's going to be on my show, but I love it even more that Sydney's in here because I've known that young lady since she was a little bitty girl, and she used to follow me around the arena, and she'd go, "You got some gum? You got some gum? You got some gum?" And I'd always carry gum on me, man. And you know, that's our bond. I mean, that's our deal. That's what we do. We chew gum together, man. Cindy, I love you, baby girl. I'm glad you're on here. Let's give Larry a call right fast. Let's see what he's up to. There we go.
Hello.
What are you doing, brother?
Oh man, just living life.
It's what it's all about, right?
That's it.
That's about all we can do in this world is live whatever's dealt to us for that day. My grandpa used to say, "Hey, when you wake up, it's a gift. Everything else is an adventure after that." You know,
Absolutely.
it means it a bunch. You know, so you know, well, number one, thank you very much for being on the show because it's definitely an honor. From the way you were talking, you don't do very many or do any of these podcasts.
After I retired, I've turned down over 20 interviews, and it was time. It was time to talk.
Well, you know, and I'm glad. I'm trying to get the volume here. Hold on just a second on the phone. Trying to get that turned up just a little bit. And but it, you know, it just you can be silent for as long as you want, but sometimes it's good to talk, you know, and that's just the way it is, man.
Well, and you know, and with you, I've known you. Oh hell, I can't even tell you
Since
how long.
Moses was a pup.
Oh man, it's been a long time.
Yeah.
And so time is right, person was right.
Well, that's great, man. I'm glad I'm the person, man. It means a lot to me. It really does. So, you know, Larry, we might as well just get started here, and we can always talk about how our shows went and different things like that throughout this interview. But, you know, why don't you take us back before the Ghost Rider days, the monster trucks, and kind of when you were a kid, and did your love for the big trucks come from that time, or when did they start happening?
You know, they did. Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds, first time I ever got to see a live monster truck.
Uh huh.
Probably the first time I ever seen a monster truck. Back then it had been Rodman, Jimmy Miller, you know, them guys.
Right.
And I call them the true riders.
Right.
And um, because that was, you know, I mean, hell, that was back Lurch and Hammer Time. And Hammer Time at that time was probably my favorite because that's the first truck I saw. My aunt lived directly across the street from Mississippi Valley Fairgrounds. Now we could never afford to go to a monster truck show,
Right.
but I could sit in her yard and I could hear them and I could drool over them.
That sound, can make a young man dream big, can't he?
Oh, 100%. And so one day I snuck across the road and I knew I was going to get my, you know, knew I was going to get my tail whipped. But I snuck across the road and old Rodman and Ronte was over there at the Mississippi Valley.
Uh-huh.
And they they come around the fence, so I go to run, and I'm a tiny little kid, and I go to run from them. Well, they wasn't running me off. They was actually like, "Hey, we got hot dogs. You want some?" And I was hooked ever since.
And to be with people like Runte and Rodman and stuff like that, what a great first experience to have those guys be the drivers that you met the very first time. That was such uh, uh, a great team.
And of course, for me, I didn't know who the hell any of them was.
Sure.
I didn't know their names, didn't know, who was famous, who was. I mean, like none of that. I mean, all of that was irrelevant because I was just a small kid.
Right. How old do you think you were at that time, Larry?
Oh hell, I was to guess, maybe 10,
Wow.
12. I could be off a little bit.
Yeah, but very impressionable by the people that you meet and the things that you see.
And of course, I didn't know who any of them was up until 10 years later.
Right.
You don't put that. Oh, I remember that guy. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Did you ever have a chance to work with him? Of course you did, but did you ever have a chance to tell them that story and did they remember?
I talked to Arante about it a couple times, and Jimmy Miller ended up being a good friend of mine as I grew up in the industry. Well, let me rephrase. I don't know if we was really friends, but I really listened to what he had to say when I did shows with him.
Uh huh.
And for me, Jimmy Miller was, and even Rodman was, it was their attitudes and Jesse Berge. I mean, he was a huge inspiration as I was coming up, and them guys like they don't even make them like that anymore.
No, they don't, man, and it's too bad. Uh, Jesse Berge, I got a chance to do a lot of shows with him, and what a passion he had for the sport, and he was just he was a gentle giant unless you woke him up, and
A
he,
hundred percent.
if you made him mad, I don't think there was enough track to get out of the way. But he just was just such a great guy, and I have so many Jesse Berge memories that for a lifetime. I mean, and they're all good ones. I know of no bad ones at all.
No, absolutely. I have 100 stories plus of him.
And they're good stories, aren't they?
They are, yeah, they absolutely are. Which you and I touched base about it, not too long ago. But
Yeah.
um, the story. I'm trying to get transmission fixed. I'm very green in the business, and he comes over and he says, "Hey, you need to come over to my bus and eat." And I'm like, "Eat? Like I haven't eaten in 3 days. I mean, I haven't slept in two. It's all about I got to get this truck going, and I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm 20."
Uh huh. Yeah.
you know, he's like, "Exactly. You don't know what the hell you're doing." He said, "You need to come with me." So I went over. He fed me a cheeseburger, and he looked at me. He said, "If you're not alive, you can't run tomorrow."
Right.
And he goes, "Now let's go fix this transmission." And this guy, he goes over there, grabs that thing by the tail cone, starts ripping it apart, throwing parts all over the trailer. He's like, "You don't even need that." I'm like, "Do what? What do you mean you don't need that?" He's like, "You don't need that for the transmission to work." I'm like, "I'm pretty sure you do.
Because it came with it.
So he throws this thing together, and I mean, and I'm just sitting there like, this thing will never run again. And me and him throw this thing in there, fired up. That transmission was in that truck for like 2.5, 3 years after that.
It's amazing, ain't it?
Yeah, and I would have, and you fast forward 20 years, I build them the same way now.
Yeah.
It's like you don't need this. You don't. This part is irrelevant, and and I've had younger guys in the business look at me like, "What do you? I need that. I just paid like $500 for that."
Put it back in there right now.
Yeah, and and what he taught me that night wasn't about building transmissions. It was about you have to take care of yourself, or you can't do the job.
Well, he was so right, man. I mean, just So right, and you're young and you're just consumed by you have all this money invested in stuff and you're trying to get yourself out there and make a name for yourself and do good and because back then, man, if you didn't run, there was a lot of promoters that didn't pay you. You showed up for nothing, and that wasn't a good feeling. I watched several guys that didn't make it, and Stanley said, "Hey, you didn't make it, man. I can't pay you tonight, or something like that." So I don't
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
It was a different world back then, but it was a good world. I mean, everybody was just passionate about what they did and passionate about helping the next person out. I don't know how it is nowadays. I haven't been around in a long time. I'm sure there's several of the drivers still that will bend over backwards to help you, But then there's those ones that they won't lift a finger to help you, you know.
I'm retired for a reason.
Right,
and
exactly.
and, and we're welcome to jump 25 years ahead, or we can just keep going. down-
Like I
so
told you the other night, dude, we might go from the day that you were born to the last show you did, and then back to something else. I mean, yeah, I don't have. If you have a story that you'd like to tell, and it doesn't matter. I mean, this is your time to talk, man. So you talk and you do what you want to do. Okay?
no, I appreciate that. And a lot of things people forget, like back when like I first got in the business, and I'm sure I'm not the only guy out there that struggled. We were broke. Like, I mean, we had no money. We come from nothing.
Right.
I was making $9.25 an hour when I quit my job and went full time monster truck.
Wow.
Yeah, $9.25 an hour. Now back then, in I don't know, I finally quit my job. I started in 99, 98, 99, and I finally quit my job. I think in 2004 ish,
Uh huh.
just right around when Sydney was, a little bit after when Sydney was born.
Uh huh.
I quit my job. I was working at a place called FS, and just a farm service place.
Uh huh.
And the reason I worked there is because we worked in welding, building bins, and hydraulics. There was, you worked on hydraulics, and you worked on about everything I needed for the monster truck industry because that was my goal.
Sure. It's kind of like your
Um,
college, right?
oh, absolutely. So when we went to a show and something went wrong and we didn't get paid, we had no money to get to the next one.
Right. Yeah, and I'd seen that happen a lot, and I think Stanley kind of softened up later on in life, but when I first got there, man, he was pretty hard on that kind of stuff, it was like, I'm here to do my job, and you were supposed to be here to do yours. Well, in the monster truck world, you take a 10,500 pound monster truck and you throw it in the air so many times, a little $2 part's going to break and it's going to keep the whole truck from running. And that's usually what it is. It's something simple.
Oh, absolutely, and it's about search and destroy and finding it.
Yeah.
Now, Stanley Torgerson never, he's never docked me a penny. I did break at his shows and whatnot, but I knew what Stanley was about, and Stanley was easy to the sense of when you broke down, you worked 100% to get it back. And if it
Yeah.
was a catastrophic failure and you could not get that truck back, then you helped the guy next to you keep running. You swept the floor. You got on a machine and you moved cars. And if you did that, Stanley never, in all the years I worked for Stanley Torgerson, he never docked me not one penny.
And Larry, and I told you this too, it's the same way with me. I was never not paid by anything that I did for Stanley. No matter whether it was classic car auctions or if it was monster truck shows, I always got a paycheck at the end of the day. And same for Danny. I never did. Danny always paid me and stuff like that. So I can't say anything. I can't say anything bad about it. Stanley was a great man. He gave me my start, man. So I really believe that. But so you started out and here we go bouncing back and forth. But you started out mud racing, and then what made you jump in? I mean, was monster trucks always your passion, or did you just decide that day that hey, I've had enough of this mud racing, and I'm going to do monster trucks?
Mud racing was me for me is it was feeding the drug. So when you look at people like Dan Rutte and Dennis Anderson, Tom Mintz, I mean, and so forth, when you look at these guys, Paul Schaefer, I ran Paul Schaefer back in the day. Um, when you look at these guys, they're untouchable people. Like you're not gonna run with them. I mean, you're kidding yourself to even think that you're gonna cross that bridge. So for me, mud racing was to feed that adrenaline, to feed what I wanted to do. And my hopes was to just catch a ride, basically. So I mud race, went into pro arena racing, and truly, my I didn't have the finances to make I could never build a machine that could handle me, and I don't mean to be like cocky,
Right.
but I always try to outdrive my machines,
Uh huh.
and so I could never build. I never had the finances to build Mud or Pro Arena to actually be competitive.
Uh huh.
So I was at a couple. I want to say I did a lot of Monster Jam stuff when I was Pro Arena racing. That's where I'd meet Jack Caverna,
Uh huh.
and I actually broadsided his truck at a at a RCA the RCA dome. I actually broadsided his truck coming out of a corner, and and he was really cool. First time I ever met him, I talked to him. I apologized. I was in a Pro Arena truck. It destroyed my truck. I mean, it didn't do shit to his truck. Um, but yeah, so I just started climbing the ladder. Talked to Paul Schaefer a little bit, went down there and got to interview with Paul Schaefer about driving for him. There was just a few things, nothing really against Paul, just the way the organization was. I was afraid I would get lassoed into somewhere I didn't belong.
Right.
And I actually, as bad as I wanted it, I refused it. And he did offer to bring me on and whatnot. And I actually refused that opportunity. So at that point, I more concentrated on building my own ride truck.
Yeah.
So I built a ride truck, and then I can't quite remember when I had owned the ride truck at the time, and then I got tied in with Don King.
Uh huh.
You know,
The Mister, I loved him like I always call him my monster truck father. I mean, I had a lot of good shows with Don, and we had a lot of knockdown dragouts, man. He
oh,
just,
100%.
I mean, he would teach you more in a minute, but he'd just rip your
Thank you.
butt and tear you down and bring you back up, and that was just Don. But I mean, he'd give you your shot, and he'd let you do. I know if I wanted to drive, he would have gave me my shot. I just couldn't afford to leave a wife and three boys on the road and go on the road trying to do monster trucks. I was making pretty good money being an auctioneer, so
For sure.
I thought I'd better stick with that. And our amigo on here, Stanley Hernandez, is on here. Hola, Stanley, ¿cómo está? But he said Larry Quick, the legend. And he said, what an honor to work with Larry. I learn a lot. Unfortunately, I never have the pleasure to share the track with him. Stanley, you know what? You missed your shot, man. This was it would have been good to see you two battling it out on the arena floor.
Stanley's a good dude.
He is. I got to work with Stanley there the last couple of shows at Monster X Tour when I was working for him in Colorado Springs. We did some morning TV together and stuff. And man, I mean, we talked like we had been best friends. I mean, he treated me good. I'd heard of him, but I never knew anything about him. And I tell you what, he was a hard worker, man. That weekend we had the trucks from hell, man. Everything would break. You've been at those shows. That nothing's running right. There's something wrong with every truck, and Stanley was really trying to keep the show together, man. I got to take my hat off to him for sure.
Oh, and he's got all the goods. I mean, he's polite, he's decent, he's good to talk to, and
Yes.
he's got all the goods.
Yep.
Because
Guaranteed.
people miss that. They come in here and they're like, I'm gonna win everything and I'm the best and blah blah blah. Well, I tell you what, when your motor blows, you're gonna suck like the rest of us. I don't give a shit how good you are.
Exactly. Or how big of a budget you got. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Break that tire off. I mean, you can watch me do rounds the rest of the night
Yeah.
because that's how it works.
Exactly right, man. You never know when that lesson in life is going to humble you, because it does after a while. You run your mouth so much at how good you are, and you break a lot, and then all of a sudden it's like, maybe I should keep my mouth shut. might
When
might gather up more friends that way.
when I took my 11th championship, I had one of my guys, and we're sitting there, and he said, "Right now you're tied, and you could win this championship. This would be number 11th, and you could win this championship." He goes, "There's a lot of good names." He goes, "What are you gonna do?" I said, "I'm gonna stay calm."
Yeah.
And he goes, "Well, what do you mean?" I said, "Because if you go out there and you break, you can't finish." And and I hate to sound this way, but so we went out wheelie contest. Half of the fleet fell out,
Uh huh.
wheels missing. I mean, cages broke. I mean, four links folded, drive shafts gone. So now, I mean, you're racing half of the fleet. Well, by the time we got through racing, I mean, there was only four trucks left, and three of them was mine.
Wow.
You see what I mean?
Yes, I do. I sure do, man.
You
Guaranteed.
don't have to be you don't have to be great. Sometimes you just got to know how to control yourself.
Got to be smart. That's what you got to be, man. So, before Ghost Rider, there was the Reaper. And, tell us a story about the Reaper and how it eventually became Ghost Rider.
So, the Reaper technically was the truck for probably a couple of years that most even super fans don't know. So, for the first couple of years, we did not have a name.
Uh huh.
It was a black Chevy Colorado body, and um, Sydney's mom and me and everybody, we called it the truck. It was just the truck.
Right.
And so I was talking with a buddy of mine, and I was like, I don't know, we'd call the Reaper, and so we threw the Reaper name on it, and we ran it for a time, and then there was we got granted the trademark, and then another company already had the trademark, but they never run the truck,
Uh huh.
and well, we wasn't aware of that, so we're sent a cease and desist, and we start battling in court, and it's like I can't afford to sit here and fight somebody in court over a name,
Right.
so we're gonna go back to the truck. Well, at the time, I had bought Pony in this time frame. I had bought Pony Express,
Jeremy Ward's old
and
truck.
correct, I
Okay.
bought Pony Express, and I bought Bad Dog,
Uh huh.
and Bad Dog from Danny Torgerson.
Yep.
Yep. So we had the Bad Dog name. We had Pony Express, and we was chatting back and forth, and I was doing a lot of Jim Morris and Ed Beckley stuff at the time, CFP.
Uh huh.
And so we're talking to Morris, and he's Pony Express and blah blah blah, and then back and forth with Ed Beckley, and Ed's like, man, throw Ghost Rider on the you got the old Mustang body. I said, yeah, and he goes, throw Ghost Rider on that on that thing, and let's let it roll. And I was like, no, that name sucks. And I said, I don't want to fight another trademark. So he's like, I think it'd be awesome. He goes, run it until they tell you to take it off. And I'm like, fine. So we made some cheap decals. We threw it on this Mustang body, called it Ghost Rider. I hated it. Now, would I ever have thought it would have turned into what it was or what it did?
Right.
No. But I hated the whole concept. I hated the car body. I hated the hood on it because you can't see. I hated that. I had to change my whole cage design to make it look halfway decent. And the name sucked.
Right.
And that's my true outlook on it.
Well, why I always kind of thought that you got away with the Ghost Rider because that you changed the spelling of Rider and spelled it with a Y instead. So I thought maybe you got away with it going around it that way.
So that's actually negative, and I don't want to throw any names out without permission. So at the time, we was doing some Stone Cold Steve Austin sponsorships, and that kind of thing.
Right.
And that's where the white body come in.
Uh-huh.
So, and um, we was actually sued by Marvel Comics for the Ghost Rider name.
Uh-huh.
We had a an extremely large company help us and actually got our trademark and everything that we still own today for the Ghost Rider I have.
Uh-huh.
And they made that happen. I owed them a few favors, which I honored, and that was that. But they actually got that for me. That was a fight I couldn't fight,
Sometimes it takes a bigger dog, don't it?
and that's what it was.
Right. Yeah.
And, and the and the guy that I spoke to said, "I need the details. I'll call you back." And like 6 months later, he sent me all the rights and signed everything over into my name.
Cool. Well, and then such history began, you know,
For sure.
guaranteed. I mean, because that name became a household name in many a show, man. If Ghost Rider was there, man, everybody. I always explain you to people like, all right, if Larry Quick's in the show, we have to find a building stretcher because we got to make a bigger track because there's not enough room for him to do what he does. So I always just told him, I said, you guys are going to see a show that is just amazing. I mean, he's not afraid to drive the truck into the ground, and I'll guarantee you what, the second round he'll be back and ready to go again. I mean, it's just that way, and you were always I guess you drove your monster trucks, with the same passion as you did your mud cars, really. I mean, you drove them smarter because, like you said, you had three trucks in that at the end of that last big run, and everybody else was broke and stuff. But still, you weren't gentle on them. I know that for sure.
Oh, 100%. So my trick always was, and I would pull into events, and it's funny because, and if they're listening, they'll know who they are. I would roll in there and go, oh, there comes Gravedigger. Oh, there comes Tom Metz. They are the two biggest names in the industry.
Right.
Thank you. Like you're not offending me
Right.
at all.
Right.
But see, I never drove to win. I never drove to beat them guys. They thought I did,
Right.
you know. And in time, that's where most hated Ghost Rider actually come from. Is some of these guys hated me,
Yeah.
and I never knew why. And Terry Woodcock told me one day, he goes, "It's because they can't beat you."
Right.
And I'm like, "Do what?" And he goes, "It's because they can't beat you."
It's the truth, man.
And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't even think I'm that good. He goes, and that's it. Because when I drove for me. Like that 90 seconds in that stupid truck in front of the crowd was just incredible. It had nothing to do with these guys sitting back here with their trucks. They need to do their thing. I didn't give two shits about them,
Sure.
and I mean, and I hate to upset any of them now, but I didn't ever think about them when I was driving. Like, oh man, I'm gonna beat this guy. I never gave a shit. Never cared
You were
because
always
it was me. It was
go.
me in that truck.
Yeah, you was always one to put on like Stanley used to say, a monster truck spectacular, man. I mean, it was just I I I can remember, Stanley just shaking his head and watching you drive, and just laughing. And you knew that when Stanley laughed, that Stanley Torgerson was happy with what he had hired on for that weekend, and his shows. And his shows were tough to work, man. I mean, he was very demanding. You when he pointed, you better have that son of a bitch started and ready to go, man. And he didn't want to hear anything else about it. He was just, but he ran such a tight, good show. It was amazing. I loved working for him. I loved learning from him is what I did more than anything. And I learned a lot from the man.
Me too.
He
Yeah,
was
me too.
he was just a hell of a promoter. He enjoyed life, and he used to always say, just give him enough, and make him want to come back next year, man. And that's so true. You don't want to necessarily just tear everything up and have to put it in the trailer with a forklift, but come close, man. Just come close and make sure that they want to be back next year, because Ghost Rider will be back here in the building for sure.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and I had to find that as well. I had to find that happy medium,
Right.
because of that was 100% me at one point in my career. Is when it quit moving, you was done. You got out and you waved.
Yeah.
And Ed Beckley had taught me that. He's like, man, all you gotta do is jump a napkin. And I'm like, what? He goes, if they've never seen you jump a napkin, he goes, you can jump that napkin. They'll be spectacular. You can wave and you can go home.
Right.
And you made your money and they're impressed.
Yeah.
And for years, to this day, I mean, all the way up until I quit driving, um, before a show, I was always, all you gotta do is jump a napkin. If they've never seen you jump that napkin, they'll be impressed.
Yeah.
And
Guaranteed.
and for the love of God, if you look at a car stack and you're like one more hit, stop.
Yeah.
Like don't even touch it
Yeah.
because that's when you destroy everything.
It's the truth. It is. It's that's when the worst things, and that's when I, as an announcer, that's when I seen. They were, you get people like Bill Payne or somebody, and just you go out there and they just have a hell of a freestyle. I mean, save shit out their ass, and then all of a sudden it's just that one more run. And now you're on the side, and your truck's all tore up, and you're got to drag it over to the trailer with the forklift, and it's just it's if you just got to learn that, I guess, as a driver. And I act like I know that what a driver does, but I was around enough of you guys to watch, and to learn. And damn, you said the gospel right there, man, for sure.
Yeah, and you speak about Bill Payne, one of my best friends. Um, I got to see him come in the business, and I was honored to do so. And
Yeah.
when he first come in the business, I remember watching him at his first show that was with me, and we was over in Ohio.
Uh huh.
And I watched him with them Jeeps,
Oh my
and
God.
I looked over at a guy that was working for me at the time, and I said he'll be hard to beat, and he's like, what? And I said, he'll be hard to beat, and he's like, oh yeah, yeah, he's itching for that win. I said, no, he's got the same passion and the same look I do,
Yeah.
because it wasn't for the win for Bill. It was that passion. It's that ride. It's that. I mean, it's that until you get that perfect 90 seconds, you'll never understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's that. It's that.
Yeah. Exactly.
It has nothing to do with anybody but you and that machine.
Yeah. I was doing a show in Indianapolis for Terry Diedrich, and he hired Bill Payne. And here's this guy that's just running around during the getting the trucks all set up and stuff, running 500 miles an hour. And Terry had me kind of. Did you ever do that show next to the Green Bay football stadium in that building?
I can't remember for sure. I'm gonna probably say yes, but I don't want to be a liar.
Right. Anyway, Terry had me down, not on the floor, but like a couple of steps up in the stairway, right there between the aisles, at a table. And that first time Bill come out, he scared the living hell out of me. I mean, I thought I was going to die. And at intermission, I told Terry, I says, either you move me or you find another announcer because that man is going to kill me. And I mean, it wasn't once or twice that he almost come close to it. He did it every time that night, and I told him, I said, Terry, I'm not going to be down there. This guy's out of control. But then, as the night progressed, I watched him, and the next day I went up to Terry and I said, I got to apologize to you, man. I said, this young man, who this Bill Payne guy, he's he's got it. He knows what he wants to do, and I said, by God, he scares the shit out of you, but he does a hell of a job driving, man. And it was like that ever since. Every show we went to, every show we did when we were doing Chico and all them other shows with the Monster Truck Mafia days and all that stuff, man. I mean, that man, damn, he could drive. And still does today. Still does today.
He knows exactly where that truck is, and
Every time.
I'm not saying he don't make mistakes. I make mistakes, but he knows where that truck is.
Guaranteed. There's been a lot of times that I push that RII But he's like, you didn't have to shut me off. I knew I was just a few inches from that dasher board. And I'm like, well, I didn't know it. That's one thing that I'm here for. Why I have the RI. But yeah, he always put on. But it was fun to go to shows with drivers like you and Bill, Stanley and everybody, and Rod Man, Dan Runte, and all those guys that just knew how to put on a show, man, and how to keep it, because it was you go to a show and you got drivers that are just scared to death to do shit, and it's hard for the announcer to carry the whole damn show. I mean, we've done it before, but it's just a pain in the ass. But when you drivers are out there and you're running and you're doing things that are amazing, and you give me an amazing move or a save or something like that, that's better than any kind of drug to an announcer that there is, man. I'm telling you, it's just like, damn. And then you get fired up, and then you're amped up, and then the crowd gets amped up, and then pretty soon the whole stadium is just screaming and shouting and yelling, and I know it fires you guys up, and it turns out to be one of the best damn shows of the night.
Oh, absolutely. I went into this one promoter. They never worked with me at the time. This is probably, I don't know, maybe 15 years ago or so, and went into this show, and they put me out first, which is fine because they never run with me, and
Sure.
blah blah blah. And I never, I mean, a lot of the drivers thought I cared about that, but I really didn't care. My only thing was, I always ran the same. I don't care if you put me out before the show, after the show, intermission, or a day before the show starts. I will run exactly the same.
Right.
So anyhow, they've never worked with me. I come flying out of the tunnel, and my RII trips, and I got my hands in the air. I got my hands up so they can see it. And I'm like, what's going on? He comes over. He goes, your throttle's stuck. I said, my throttle ain't stuck. And he goes, well, we thought it was stuck. I said, throttle ain't stuck. So they fire me back up. I hit the second set of cars. They kill me again. I'm like, what in the shit? So again, they come up to my truck, and I'm like, what's going on? Well, your throttle keeps sticking. I said, my throttle is not sticking. So they fire me back up. I make two or three more hits. They kill me again. I unbuckle. I walk over. I grab the kill radio out of the guy's hand. I walked over. If I remember right, it was Rex with Awesome Cone.
Uh-huh.
I walked over. I hand him the kill radio. I said, you run that some bitch. I said, I'm going to need about 2 minutes to get strapped back in. And then I got back in. Well, at the end of the night, we're all eating dinner and stuff. And the guy running the radio, he goes, man, I thought your throttle was sticking. I never seen anybody drive like that. I'm like, son of a gun.
Yeah. Just think what
So,
I could have done if I did with the power that I had built up. Ah, man.
oh, absolutely. But I did. I got out of that truck. I grabbed that radio, handed it to somebody else, got back in my truck. I mean, I think Hawkins was there. I can't remember, but I know a lot of the drivers shaking their head like, what the hell? I'm like, uh, it's like, man, I gotta go, and you're ruining everything I'm doing.
Yeah, guarantee you're messing up with my mojo, baby. That's what you're doing. You're messing with my mojo. Well, you're always great in the ring, and let's go to what in the hell made you think about backflips, man? What what
they
what was the idea behind that?
so they said it couldn't be done,
There's an
and
instant challenge for you.
I knew it could be. I knew I needed one main ingredient is I needed to crash it.
Uh huh.
If I could crash it, I could fix it. And so it was shortly after Pastrana tried pulling really hard on the steering wheel to get a monster truck to go backflip.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
I remember that.
yeah, it was shortly after that. We we was working on our trucks, and I had some guys in the shop, and they're like, "Well, if anybody's going to land it first, it's probably going to be Tom Mintz or Dennis Anderson." So I dropped the wrenches, got the backhoe, we shoved some dirt up and behind the shop, and we practiced it that day. I crashed the first one, landed the second one. So then we started talking. I started talking to Randy Oakley, and we wanted to debut it in Vermonster. So that was, hell, I'm getting old. Can't remember the dates. 2009, I think.
Yep.
And so we took it to Vermonster for our first public debut with it, and I was a little worked up because the dirt's different there. We're working with a different operator. To be honest, when you are in a cocky state of mind, you shove shit together, and most of the time it works.
Uh-huh.
And now we got Randy, we got me, we got Daryl, which is an operator, and we're actually trying to think about it. And everything seems wrong to me when we're Randy's got his ideas, Daryl's got his ideas, and I already made it kind of work for the most part,
Right.
and couldn't remember how it worked because he was in a cocky state of mind. You see what I mean?
Yes, I do.
And um, so I was crossing our fingers that it would work again, and then between the three of us, we pulled it off, and it was the same exact thing. I mean, it was like a repeat of the practice. I crashed, and then when I crashed, we did some reconfigurating, ramp ideas and driver, and the second time it went clean around.
What was that like? What was that feeling?
It happened so fast I didn't know if I flipped or crashed.
Uh-huh.
I mean, and I am one that always knows where my truck is, and the backflip,
Uh-huh.
the very first one, that's the first time ever in my career that I lost my bearings. It's like, did it come around?
Uh-huh.
And then I seen Jeff Bursey over there jumping up and down. And I seen Randy and everybody. I'm like, oh shit, I must have made it. Looks good. We're gonna take her.
I'm not, you just did something that's never been done, and your attitude is, well, I guess I made it. I'd have been
Yeah. So
just screaming and yelling, and of course, I would have had to gone over to the trailer and cleaned out my fire suit. I guarantee you that right now.
yeah, I mean, I figure everybody else is jumping up and down, so I was gonna get out and join the party. But yeah, I mean, when they said it couldn't be done, I knew it could.
Yeah.
And again, so many people blames this industry on money and trucks and equipment, and it's not. It's passion, it's heart, it's believing in yourself, and it's everything that the majority of the people in the business is missing.
Right.
You can I have got beat by some of the biggest money trucks in the business, and I've gotten beat by the littlest money trucks in the business, and I've beat all them too.
Right.
So and I've never. I mean, we get three-quarters of the way through my career, I started having some money to where I could, like, we built a new Ghost Rider, which come off all the backflip proceeds, and I was able. That was the first time I was able to build a monster truck to my style,
Uh-huh.
into what I wanted,
Right.
and money wasn't an object at that point. And it's funny because I still built the same piece of shits I've been driving the last 10 years because
You were
that's what I like.
comfortable. You were exactly. You were comfortable in that truck. That's the way it was. You were just comfortable. That's just, I don't know how else to say it, man. But that's what you felt like. It's what you cut your teeth on, man.
Yeah, I mean, I drove Born to Be Wild, for God's sake. If you can drive Born to Be Wild and survive,
Boy, that ain't no
um,
shit.
I mean, you got it. I mean, you put your right elbow on the blower hat,
Yeah.
for race. Hell, I broke the throttle pedal, and I mean, I just run the butterflies by myself, and I'm not making this up.
I believe it. I believe it. Is that the era of when it went over the jump, all the tires would blow off of it and all that too? That he hadn't gotten that all straightened out yet?
Well, I think we had all that kind of straightened out by the time I got in the seat. Now, I was still knocking some tires off, but I don't think it was as severe as when Don went out for the first time. And I think, didn't he land on his nose, knock the first two off, and
Yeah.
then when the back end landed, the other four or the other two fell off?
It was down in Yuma, Arizona, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, this is a brand new truck, and Don King's out there, and I'd known Don from mud racing, and all of a sudden here he comes up with a monster truck, and we're at Yuma, and he went over the jump, and there went two tires, and he landed in the back, and there went two more tires. I was like, well, what the hell's going on, man? And he had that problem for a long time, but it got it straightened out, and it was still a crazy truck to drive. I couldn't believe. I crawled up in there one time and I looked and I was like, you're really right next to this motor that could just blow up at any time and just
Oh, 100%.
put pieces through you and everything like that. It was just a little short shit is all it was, man.
but see, remember, and it sounds horrible, especially in today's safety standards,
Right.
from what it was back then. Um, it didn't matter because see, we wasn't racing to win. So I mean, it didn't matter if the motor blew up. We was doing what we had a passion for. I mean, it was that's what it was all about. It was the passion.
Right.
And would I die for that passion? Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, man. Chad Burdick's in here, man, and he said, Larry, quick stuff is not junk. And then he said, hey, Larry, what's up? No, Chad, it's not, man. Just to survive what Larry put it through, of course it's not junk, man. That stuff was tougher than time, man. I promise you that right now. Let's see here. What else can we? You know, when when you were doing the backflip, did you really think, this could go really bad, man? This really could. When you did that very first one, did that even go through your mind, or did you just say, no, I got this, and look, get out of my way?
I didn't. I said my kid would be proud of me no matter how it went.
Uh huh.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I've never in my life had fear in a truck
Uh huh.
ever. I've never doubted that I could do something. Now, I always knew I would fail a few times, but I'm not one to give up easy.
Right. Well, no, you're not. You know, and just if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, but weren't you thinking about trying to pull off a double backflip?
Um, we 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 worked on it, and I didn't have a passion for it. It was more of a so. Let's rewind back to the backflip. For the first time ever, like I could actually make money in the sport because I was still when we landed the backflip, I was still broke.
Right.
Like I didn't have no money, and I was investing in other companies beside monster truck stuff, and so I was broke.
Uh huh.
Um, with the backflip, I got book deals and I got toy deals and I got other deals and music deals and all these deals and money actually started coming in. Hence the brand new truck that was built, and um, so then they started talking about your name's fading. Now we get into politics. We get into the part of monster trucks I do not like. Now we're into politics and making money, and I understand that you have to make money. I understand it's still a business, but the promoters never understood that I still had a passion for it.
Right.
So you got to be careful how you mix that. And I was kind of pushed for the double backflip. And pulled in a lot of different ways because you got to do something new. You got to keep your name on top and blah blah blah. I didn't give a shit if anybody liked me or not.
Right.
Like it didn't matter to me.
Right.
But I did want to make more money so I could build cooler trucks. So there is that. So yes, we dabbled with it. Um, we got one and a half crashed. And to be honest, do I think I could have executed it better and executed it correctly?
Uh huh.
I believe 100% I could have. I didn't care if I did.
Right.
Because it was for the wrong reason.
Right.
Now, to do the multiple slap wheelies that people are now claiming that they're the first to do it, I was doing 20 and 30 of them in a row,
Yeah.
like way back in the day.
Yeah.
And now see, I enjoyed doing that. I would, if you give me 17 football fields, I'd multiple slap wheelie that thing all the way to the road.
Right. Exactly. And
Because
always
that
did
was
a
fun.
great. Always did a great. You kind of always reminded me of a motocross rider. Those wheels would be cocked a little bit sideways, and it looked like he was just sitting there on the back of the bike, just going, riding. It was just always really cool to watch you do that, man. So. Uh,
Throttle and brake.
Throttle and brake, throttle and brake. That's exactly right. Exactly right. Let's see here. What else could we? Oh, uh, Ghost Rider was known for its freestyle, but what made you such an aggressive freestyle driver? What was that all about? I mean, is that just your passion?
I mean, that was just fun. And that was probably like one of our biggest conflicts like with other drivers is some guys come in for a paycheck and I get it, because I mean I was too broke.
Uh huh.
And maybe they're not broke. I mean that was the wrong words. I shouldn't use that word. I don't know their financial situation, but they wanted to just make money, and if you run hard, I have to run hard. Well, you really don't. You can sit back and you can do whatever you need to do, but I always run the same because that's my passion.
Uh-huh.
And and you had to, and like, look, I'll go back to Jess Berge. Um, 10-inch coil springs off of a Ford. I'm playing for keeps, and you could come in with a $400,000 truck, and if you do not have your shit together, he would hand you your ass every time.
Uh-huh.
And that's passion driving.
Yes.
That's passion. That's not money. That's not politics. That is Jess using his passion to make you look completely stupid. And them are the guys I grew up with, and I don't like to look stupid.
Yeah. That's the truth. And Jess, he didn't have no blower on that truck, man. It was naturally
Nope.
aspirated, and I seen him many a time put a spanking on a Bigfoot truck, and he had a bullseye for Bigfoot. I mean, if there was a Bigfoot truck in there, he was going after it, and he was going to make a name for himself that night on it, man. And that little green truck, man, God, it was just amazing what he could do. Uh, he come rolling up in that big old green bus with that little truck on the back, and you think, what the hell do we got going on here, man? But when he came alive in that arena, damn, it was amazing. It really
He
was.
he was the reason I run naturally aspirated for so many years.
Right,
Because Reaper was naturally aspirated. Ghost Rider for a long time was naturally aspirated. Um, because he showed me he could. I mean, he showed me it could be done.
right.
You just had to know how to drive it.
Yeah, exactly, exactly. So, how much of the Ghost Rider did you personally build, fabricate, and maintain, dude? You know, talk
Um,
talk to us about that.
so I bought the original Pony Express, which turned into the Reaper.
Right.
We rebuilt that truck in 30 days.
Damn.
Because we got it, and I just didn't understand. And I'm not saying Jeremy Ward or anybody did me wrong, because I don't feel that way. If you buy something, you buy it.
Right.
Um, it wasn't what I thought it was, and a lot of that was probably lack of knowledge on my part, being so young in the business. Um, so we cut everything off of that and used basically the main rails of the Pony Express
Uh huh.
and created the Reaper.
Wow.
And then when Girl Power, Ghost Rider, Ghost Rider comes first, but Ghost Rider was 100% built in my shop by me.
Uh huh.
Yeah, and then Girl Power, we bought a chassis and then we reconfigured the chassis and did some reinforcement and some changes, just some things I like. And for Girl Power, and then we created Girl Power out of that.
Right. Do you have both trucks to this day?
I do. Yeah, I'm actually partners with a guy named Johnny, and um, he's running them, and he's doing a fine job. He has to deal with me on the phone, so he's nervous a lot.
Uh huh.
Um, and because our conversations are, don't listen to that guy. What I did works. Don't listen to this guy. What I did works. You don't need a $50,000 engine. The $25,000 one does just fine.
Right.
Learn to drive it.
Right.
You can throw as much money in it as you want, and if you still can't drive, you still suck.
You know that the way you said that just made me have a flashback to back when I was a young kid and I was BMX racing. A bunch of my friends all got the Schwinn scramblers, and everybody was just uh, got to have a Schwinn scrambler, or you ain't going to be able to BMX ride. And I had this. It was a Schwinn frame, but it was just a homemade, rob from Peter to pay Paul kind of deal, where I got parts from everybody and this and that, and I learned how that bike handled, and it was just a pedal bike, man. But I learned how it handled, and I smoked a lot of them Schwinn scramblers, man, because of the fact is I learned what the bike could do and how it handled. I mean, it was an amazing thing. And people always look at me, how in the hell did you do that? And I was like, well, I just know my bike, man. That's all there is to it.
You learn to drive it.
Right, exactly. You learned its capabilities, and what it could really do, and that was great. So Is there anything in your career where you done something and when you got done doing it, you were like, "Oh shit, man, that was rough. That was a rough one." What was your "oh damn that hurt" moment?
Oh, I mean, just as far as like a bad landing type hurt. I mean, because there's many there's many different types of hurts,
Yes,
Jeff.
there are. There's financial hurts. there is there
um,
is other hurt, but yeah, just that one that you just like, oh shit, man, I think I broke every bone in my body here, kind of hurt. That kind of pain.
I can't remember the venue. I want to say it was in Texas, and I want to say it was in Texas, and um, I over rotated a backflip, and when I did, this is what told me I actually could fabricate because when I did, I flat topped the cage, and I hit the cage so hard that it went about 8 inches into the dirt, but it actually knocked one of my shoes off my feet,
No
and
way.
and it broke the strap on my helmet and it flipped my helmet back.
Wow.
And now, of course, the fans don't see this.
No.
Um, of course, the fans don't see this because we have a us drivers have a great way of not being hurt when we can barely walk.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
Oh yeah.
so I get out. I forget who it was. They threw me my shoe. I kicked my shoe on. I'm waving at the fans, and I am walking the wrong direction because I'm seeing stars. And I mean, that was probably the hardest hit of my career.
Oh man. That's I remember the night Don King hit real hard like that, and I was standing next to him, because I always went up and did my interviews with you guys right there in the ring, and Don King was sitting there and he was waving, and I just walked up to him and I pulled the mic down and I said, "Okay, now turn around and wave at the crowd because you're waving at the wall, man." And he thought he was just waving at the crowd and everything was good. I said, "I know you're hurt. I know it's not going to be fun." But I said, "I just need you to turn around and wave to the crowd. Just please do that, and then we'll get off of here and go. And I'll keep the interview short." And he just told me, he said, "Man," he said, "like you said, I seen stars, I seen baby elephants, I seen everything you could see, and it hurt bad." So yeah, I could believe that. I mean, I never had anything like that happen to me, but I could see where you guys could really ring your bell, guaranteed. So I tell you what, let's do this. Let's take a quick break, because, dude, we are 5 minutes away from being an hour talking. It goes so fast. So I want to play your song for everybody. So we're gonna do that and give you a chance to take a break. If you need to get a drink of water or something like that, go for it. Just remember, you're live while the song's playing. They can hear you talking on the microphone. Okay?
So be nice.
Well, I don't
Fine.
give a damn. I don't give a shit. You know me, Larry. When have I ever given a shit? But I'm just telling you. Just I tell that to everybody. Just because then some of people go, "Well, you never told me," and I said, "Well, yeah, I did. If you would have listened, I would have told you." So I just tell everybody. But guys, we'll be right back here. This is Larry's song. This is called Ghost Rider. We'll be back here on Pedal the Metal Motors and Music.
Larry Quick came up the hard way with gasoline running through his veins. Built an iron for the weekend, chasing thunder, dirt and flames. From the Reaper to the big time, he learned to make that monster fly. Then a Mustang-bodied outlaw rolled out underneath the lights. 66 inches of rubber, 565 under the hood. When Larry pulled that harness tight, you knew it was gonna get good. Ghost Rider, raise a little hell tonight. Four wheels hanging in the air underneath those stadium lights. Larry Quick behind the wheel, never scared to let it fly. You can walk away from driving, but a legend never dies. Yeah, the man may leave the seat someday, the Ghost Rider still will ride. December 2008, they said that truck won't come around. Let it put his foot down hard and brought all four wheels back to ground. Then Vermont saw it happen, with the crowd there watching on. He rolled that monster backwards and drove away when it was done. Montreal came calling, it took that same dream inside. Every time they raised the question, Larry answered with a ride. Ghost Rider, raise a little hell tonight. Four wheels hanging in the air underneath those stadium lights. Larry quick behind the wheel, never scared to let it fly. You can walk away from driving, but a legend never dies. Yeah, the man may leave the seat someday, but Ghost Rider still will ride. There were freestyle wins and trophies, championships along the way. Years of busted parts and late nights just to run another day. Quick racing kept on rolling through the dust and through the smoke. Ghost Rider and girl power built on sweat and gears and hope. Then came 2023. Larry knew his time had come. He climbed down from that driver's seat, but the story wasn't done. Now another driver strapped in, and another crowd will rise. But somewhere behind that monster, there's a man who knows the price. Every weld and every battle, every scar beneath that ride, still carries Larry Quick's name every time that engine fires. Ghost Rider, raise a little hell tonight. Let that old Mustang body dance underneath the lights. There's a little bit of Larry every time you see it fly. 'Cause you can hand somebody else the wheel, but you can't hand off your life. Ghost Rider, keep that thunder rolling. Let 'em hear you far and wide. The man may leave the driver's seat, but Ghost Rider never dies. Ghost Rider, keep on riding. Ghost Rider, never dies.
You're listening to Pedal to the Metal. Motors and music. Where the engines are loud and the music hits just as hard. Classic cars, hot rods, monster trucks, and the stories behind the builds. Mixed with the music that fuels the ride. From the show field to the arena floor, we bring you the horsepower and the center to match. Stick around, we got more coming your way. But first, a word from our sponsors.
If you're tired of the same recycled playlists and ready for something with real energy, turn your dial, or better yet, go online and lock this in. Introducing the Edge Radio US, based out of Louisiana, and streaming worldwide at theedgeradious.com. This isn't just another internet station. This is where rock and roll live. Everything from the classics that built the foundation to the new bands that are lighting it up today. All genres, all eras, all real music. With over 49,000 listeners per minute worldwide, The Edge Radio US is bringing people together through sound, attitude, and pure music culture. Stream it free, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and take it anywhere you go. And it doesn't stop at music. The Edge also features talk shows covering racing, faith-based topics, celebrity news, new music, and everything in between. There's something for everybody on the dial. Behind it all is Johnny Blender down in Louisiana. Not just running the station, but building hot rods, classic cars, and muscle machines out of his shop in true gearhead fashion. Wanna get involved? Email edgeradious@gmail.com. Sponsorships and show opportunities are available. That's the Edge Radio US, where music, motors, and real talk meet. And now, we return to pedal to the metal. Motors and music. With your host, Roller.
All right, guys, we're back, and we're talking to the madman of the monster trucks, Mr. Larry Quick, in the house tonight, man. And we're talking about his amazing career in the monster truck business. People like the song, bud. They really did.
It's my new favorite song.
It's your new favorite. Right on. You know, you told me the other day that you'd always been wanting somebody to write a song for you and about you and stuff, and nobody ever wanted to take on the task. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm good at what I do, but it's not hard. All you got to do is you get a lot of ideas from the stuff on the internet and different things like that, and it's pretty easy to put a song together. But I mean, it's got to fit. Everything's got to fit just right, you know. But then you put it in that AI, and you know, I'll write the lyrics to something, and then AI will take probably 45% of my stuff and go, it was stupid. We don't want to hear it. Throw it out, and it creates some stuff. And dude, I mean, it's made some amazing songs for me. I mean, and there's been some times that AI's like almost giving me thumbs up because damn, you know, this is good. We didn't have to change very much, and it's just an amazing tool. And then I don't understand why people are not, you know, using it more. But of course, I guess it's just news, so we'll see. But anyway, I'm glad you like the song, my friend, and I hope you use it well and do with whatever you want with it.
Oh, absolutely. You know, I figure after the broadcast, we'll try to get it on Facebook there, and so other people can listen to it and enjoy it.
There you go, man. There you go. You know, Larry, you've won multiple championships and trophies and accomplishments and stuff. Which one? I guess what I was trying to say is which one means the most to you?
None of them.
Really? Well, I mean,
When I started in the monster truck business, I was probably like any other poor kid. It was one of those things where I planned on doing it until I couldn't pay the bills anymore, and then I would just go back to my stupid job, and I would pay on that $150,000 note for the rest of my life at $9 an hour.
right.
And I had every intention of failing. But my success would be as I did it and I tried it. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
So everything past that was a bonus. So my greatest championship is the probably 5,000 names I have on my telephone of people I've met and I know. And I would have never known them if I wasn't in that industry. And the messages I get today, and it still kind of starstrucks me a little bit because they're like, well, I'm going to do this, and what do you think? And it's like, why the hell would you even want my opinion?
Right.
Like it doesn't. I mean, I still don't understand that concept.
Right.
Um, and I'm flattered by it. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
Um, but I am a little, you know, it's like there's so many names out there that I talk to you.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe there wasn't. I applied. I applied with Bigfoot 13 times and they wouldn't hire me before I started my own team.
You know, was it was it because of your driving style? Do you think? Because there for a long time, I mean, Bigfoot ran hard, but they weren't one to go out there and do the stuff that you were doing. I mean, they kind of made him kept a rope on him for a long time. But
Well, at the time, I wasn't in the business.
right.
Yeah. I didn't have a name. I had a ride truck, but I didn't have a name.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's one of the reasons right there. Who was one of the toughest drivers you ever lined up against, man? What would you have to say there?
Uh, I'd have to. I'd have to put three in this category, and it might sound a little funny to you, but this is just the three that pops in mind. Um, Probably Shannon, um, Sydney, and racing or freestyle. Because racing it'd be Dan Rante.
All right.
And all three of them have one thing in common: it's mental. So when you race your kid, she's excited. Do you let her win and give her false hope, or do you kick her ass? Now,
Right.
I chose to kick her ass,
Sure.
but that's still a hard decision. Um, and when you race like Shannon when she first got in, I mean, them are some of my proudest moments is to see them come from where I was and step up, get in the seat, and drive. And
Right.
then if you're gonna race against Dan Rente, I don't care what any of the cocky people say. I raced against that man on and off for 25 years, and he could make you look stupid on your best day.
he he had that ability, didn't he?
And I mean, when it come to racing, and I'll be honest with you, I've always looked very highly to Dan Rente.
Yeah.
I thought he was one of, if not the best entertainer in the sport because he had it all. He had the attitude, he had the driving, and he looked at me. We was in Billings, Montana, and Ed Beckley was going to send him last for freestyle, and Dan come up, and I would say this about my mid career maybe,
Uh huh.
and Dan said I'm not following him, and the first thing out of my mind, or in my mind at that point was, at this point I've known Dan a while,
Uh huh.
but I wouldn't consider us friends.
Right.
And I thought, another shithead that just hates me because I drive.
Right.
And Dan says, he's one of the best I've ever seen. He goes, I'm not following him. And
Wow.
that is one of the most flattering moments in my time because like it's Dan Rente.
Yeah.
I mean
Exactly.
that's the best in the world right there.
Right.
And if he thinks of you like that, by God, even though you think you're not doing something right, you are.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. He was an amazing man. He really was. Uh, just God, I miss him every day, man.
Me
Uh,
too.
you know, who was the driver you trusted the most? The guy that could be your biggest competitor, but the guy that would be underneath the truck helping you fix it and fix your truck and getting you ready for the next one so you could go out and compete against each other. Who would that be?
That's a loaded question because there's a few,
Uh
and there's a few that's listening that I might offend. But the one that will really pop in my mind throughout his entire career,
huh. Uh huh.
and most of mine, Bill Payne.
Right.
You can trust him with everything but your ideas.
Uh huh.
If you have a good idea and he can make money off it, he will take it. Don't give a shit who you are. But he will give you the shirt off his back, and even if he don't like you, he will get you going to show you that he can still beat your ass on a track.
Right. And love doing it.
Oh, absolutely. I went to Stockton. I don't know how many years, and I always enjoyed that was his show. That was his time, and I used to hand him his ass every year, and I loved it. And I really think think he did too.
Sure.
Um, since in the 3 years I've been retired, him and I talk very regularly.
That's good.
He reaches out to me often, and I the same to him. Um, and yeah, he's great, and I would trust him with anything but my ideas.
Yeah. I've wanted to get him on the show, but is I don't think he sleeps. I just think that he's subhuman and he doesn't sleep. He doesn't need to sleep because every time I talk to him, he says, "Nope, I can't do it, man. I'm busy. I'm getting ready. I'm building a new truck. I'm building this. I'm building that." The other day, I look on his page, and he's building this bridge for some kind of a pond. And this is not a normal little bridge that goes over a little pond. This bridge could like go across a major shipping lane. I mean, this is
Uh-huh.
he never does anything that's small. I mean, he we were talking one night late on the phone, and he goes, "Did I tell you I was building a bunker?" And I said, "No, man, you never said anything about that." He goes, "I got to ship you some pictures of my bunker." And all of a sudden, all these
Yep.
pictures started popping up. Dude, it was like a city underneath the ground. I mean, it was a
Uh-huh.
complete city. I was like, Bill, you have never changed, man. You're always going to be that guy, man, guaranteed.
And and that's the thing him and I have in common is we push for that.
Yeah,
We try to go outside that bar.
yeah.
I would like to address a couple of comments. I seen Mike Grell had mentioned about DeWitt, Iowa.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm glad he brought that up. So DeWitt, Iowa, we did the first, and you can find video online. We did the first and only me and Shannon over under jump.
Uh huh.
So that's when one truck is heading toward a jump,
Right,
and the other truck hits the same jump and jumps that truck in the air right before they hit the exceeding jump that the first truck was on.
right.
And so yes, I'm glad he brought that up because it was an amazing stunt. I don't think anybody's duplicated. Um, we got obviously a lot of that's dangerous and blah 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 blah. Bullshit is what I call it. It was dangerous. I mean, we're in the monster truck business. I mean, you're going to have that from time to time. Um, and it was a cool stunt. Like I said, I don't think it's ever been repeated. I'm sure it will be repeated. I mean, it's a fairly easy stunt if you have two drivers that can trust one another.
Right.
Um, but it was an awesome stunt. And another comment in there was about girl power. So, how girl power is actually named, um, I vaguely remember us like joking in the shop about ghost power because we didn't have a name for it.
Right.
And we was just making like remarks about ghost power, and I think we said some other off the wall shit we probably shouldn't have said, but um, and then we're like, we can call it girl power. And I wasn't a big fan, and don't take me as chauvinist or anything like that, but I was never a big fan of the girl trucks, and just because I come up in the guy industry.
Sure.
And not that I think girls are incapable. Absolutely not. I mean, I've hired more girls than I do guys because girls don't argue with you; they just do their job.
Uh huh.
Um, but but a girl truck, like girl power, and like to me, it was like, are we wasting money? I mean, because you still got to pay the bills and you still got to get hired. Well, we named Girl Power, and then once we did Girl Power, I mean, Girl Power like took off fast. So it was a great decision. But that's kind of how it come about. It wasn't like some super planned. It was we was building a truck and we were just kicking names back and forth,
And that's how
and
where she landed.
yep, and that's the one that got printed.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. So Larry, things have changed tremendously. Since you've started in the business, and what do you think about the sport today, and what do you wish you could change? Or I mean, not change, but what do you wish wouldn't have changed? I mean, what do you think about that kind of stuff?
um, I don't have a high opinion of the um, I don't really have a really high opinion of how it is today.
Uh huh.
Um, I think it's a very egotistical sport. I think one out of every 200 drivers might have a little actual passion. They mistake winning for passion,
Right.
and it's wrong.
Right.
But run against Bill Payne, and after you walk away from that track with your tail tucked,
Right.
you just got your ass kicked by passion.
Right.
That's not ego. That's driving.
Yeah, that's true. It is.
Because when the shoe's on the other foot and you hand him your his ass on the track,
Right.
Bill will still go fix your truck.
Yeah.
He ain't gonna be mad. He ain't gonna be mad at you. He ain't gonna be upset. He's gonna work harder the next time. I promise
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. It's for round two. Be aware.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
and to talk about passion, this was a Florida show many years ago, and I hope Mike Hawkins is listening to this.
Big
Um,
Mike. I love Mike. He's my buddy.
yeah, I grew up in the business with him, and I tell you what, when you were in Mike Hawkins, you learn to drive or you go home.
Guaranteed.
And so we was doing the show, and it downpoured rain, and the fans cleared out, um, and I hate to admit it, but I'm pretty sure the radio guy even left, and me and him was getting ready to do a dual freestyle,
Uh huh.
and this storm moved in, grandstands cleared out. He looked at me, I looked at him, and we was like, well, we're strapped in, right? And me and him ran in the rain by ourselves with nobody watching, and
Right.
that's probably one of the funnest freestyles I've ever had in the business.
Was it really? Well, that's amazing,
because
man.
because it meant nothing.
Right.
It was just two guys playing with their big truck.
Got to play
But
with their toys to bring out the Tonkas.
yeah, I mean, it didn't matter how much money we had in the bank at the time. It didn't matter if we was getting ready to go home and lose everything. I mean, like none of it mattered if we was getting divorced because we've been on the road for 8 months.
Right.
Um, like none of it mattered for them couple minutes. It was just me and him playing with trucks in the rain, and I'm sure he shares the same moment to where it was just fun.
Right. That's
and
that's pretty cool.
and that's what this business lost.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have to agree with you, man. I really do. You know, it just, I don't know. I'm glad, like I told you the other day, I'm glad that I was in the business during the times when it was fun. Uh, today's, uh, you know, Monster Jam, today's Hot Wheels, stuff like that. I mean, there's some great guys in there. Don't get me wrong, Bobby Holman and Cody Holman and everybody like that, Mike and Mike Phelps and all them, you know. But it just it's not the same. It's too corporate for me. I just
For sure.
it's just like me trying to get these Monster Jam drivers. Now I've had Bobby Holman on, and stuff like that with Hot Wheels and stuff. I've had Darren Schnell on, Rebecca Schnell on, with when they drive for Hot Wheels and stuff. But have I offended you in any way, shape, or form during this intermission, or is it exactly like I told you it was going to be? Just two friends talking about old times and talking about just different things. I mean, was there anything at any moment? If there was, please tell me. Was there any moment that I offended you?
You couldn't offend me because I'll talk about anything.
Sure.
Because I believe in true life and seeing that's what most of these guys are
Right. Well, I mean, it's just. I asked Bari. Bari was on my show, Monster Truck Radio, when Bari first got into the business, and I hit him up the other day. I said, "Hey, dude, I haven't talked to you in a long time. I would love to have you back on the show and just reminisce old times and how you're doing and stuff like that. And he goes, "Man, I don't know. I'll have to clear it with corporate before I can do anything." And I knew then I didn't have a hope or a prayer of getting him on. Now you got drivers like BJ Johnson and stuff like that. BJ didn't give a shit, man. BJ was on my show. He didn't care because we had a history together, man. I mean, it's just a Kevin King, and then guys like that. But it was just one of those things that I want I want to talk to them too because I want to know what they do. I want them to tell their story like you told. I want to make a song for them. I just want to I want to give them a chance to not specifically sit here and talk all about monster trucks, but to talk about how you got started in life and what you did for to get started and different things like that. And I don't think they could give that kind of interview, to be honest with you, because their interviews are all scripted.
Oh, 100%.
And
Yep,
they wouldn't know what to say
100%.
unless somebody told them what to say. Now maybe the Andersons, they would do okay and stuff like that. But some of these younger drivers, man, they just I don't know. I really don't, unless it's a script's put in front of them and they're taught how. I mean, they went to school to learn how to do an interview, dude. All I told you one day was, is you better learn how to do an interview, man, and that's all there is to it. And you're doing a fantastic job, and you've done a fantastic job. I mean, you just got to get out there and you got to get used to doing the interview. I mean, it's just that easy. It's not that hard. I just don't understand it. I really don't.
Well,
But
and if I remember right, I think you were probably one of, if not the first, one to interview me, and it's a high probability you'll be the last.
right,
Um, Now I didn't stay quiet for 3 years, and we've got a little bit. I wouldn't say hate mail, but we got some. Hey, you just retired and you just walked, and what the hell? And like we deserve an explanation. And well, I don't owe anybody anything.
no,
You bought your ticket, I give you your show.
right,
And that's how I feel about it. And don't get me wrong, I appreciate every one of them.
right.
But I have my reasons. I'm willing to talk about my reasons. The reason I didn't interview for 3 years because of most interviewers won't let you tell the truth. They want you to be scripted, and they want you to lie to these people about how great and wonderful and lollipops and all this bullshit, and it's bullshit. And I refuse to do that. And when you and I talked, you said I could talk.
Yeah, I didn't
You
give a
know,
shit. I mean, I don't. The only thing that I ask my people that I interview is they don't slam some promoter or they don't slam some driver. If they have a beef about them, that let's don't even talk about them. Let's just go on to something else. I don't care. Because of the fact is I might have to have that interviewer with that driver or that promoter, and
oh, 100%.
and then it starts off, well, you had Larry Quick on and he said this and blah blah blah. I stop it right then and there because I have the capability of just pushing a button, and Larry Quick goes bye bye. Larry Quick's not on the show
Right.
anymore. And I have plenty of music to play, and I have plenty of other things to do. But it's just that easy, man. I want to bring a good show to the people that are listening. I have people on here tonight that has never listened to my show. But I want them to say, you know what? That was a pretty cool freaking show, man. They talked about a lot of stuff. We heard a lot of things. We loved the song that Roller made for him. I'm going to tune back into Pedal to the Metal Motors and Music. And I've gained an audience listener, man, just by having the kind of show that people like to sit back and just listen to, man. And that's what it's all about. I mean, in my book anyway, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely. I do have a lot of bad things to say about Bill Payne, though. No, I'm just kidding. I love that guy to death.
Yeah, I know you
Him
do.
and Lorna, they're great.
They are the best
Yeah,
people in the world, man.
yeah, they're absolutely great.
You
But
know, I can remember we did a show in Redmond, and we got there late that night. And I got up the next morning, and the lady at the desk calls me over, and I happened to be the guy in charge of the show that weekend. I was learning how to do box office and all that stuff. And she goes, "Are you Mr. Richards?" I said, "Yeah, I am." And I said, "What can I do for you?" And she goes, "Well," she said, "the drivers that stayed here at the hotel with us got a little out of hand, and they put soap dispensers in the swimming pool, and they did this and did that, and it was just young boys being young boys, But I had to go to Bill and Lorna and tell them that, hey, we can't have this. You can't. And they took the ball and ran and talked to the drivers, and they come up and apologized, and they went and apologized to the people at the hotel, and And Bill's like, what else can we do to fix this, man? And I said, I think we're okay. There's no problems. Or it's just that these guys got to learn that. And I kind of went through it when I first started. I kind of thought, hey, I'm kind of a rock star here with this group of people, and I can get away with a little bit of things here and there. And I'm glad I woke up because it wasn't the path that I was wanting to be going on. And the other guys never had a problem out of any of them after that. So but I was just deathly afraid. It's just like, to be honest with you, Larry, I was deathly afraid to send you your song because the last thing you told me is you said, I hate country. And I thought, this is not country, but it sounds so country that he's going to say, I told you I didn't want no country, man. And I was like, well, I'm going to send it to him anyway because I'd worked on it pretty hard. And I said, I'm just going to send it to him and see what he thinks. And when I
Yeah,
asked you,
I like it.
I said, when you want me to change it? And you go, nope, don't fix it if it's not broken. And I thought, man, I dodged a bullet there. I did. So, let's see here. I know we're getting down to the nitty gritties of it and stuff, but when somebody mentions your name and mentions Ghost Rider's name in the same sentence 20 years from now, what do you hope that they remember about you and Ghost Rider?
Um, Probably try. Yeah, because we all tried hard. I mean, and um, people don't see how many sacrifices and there's people in the industry that don't like me, and there's people in the industry I don't like.
Right.
But we all share the same thing, because I guarantee that one person that maybe dislikes me at one time was financially stressed or going through a divorce because of the career they chose. And it takes so much try to stay in this business. Um, and and you just can't give up on it. And you got to understand that you're going to probably lose more than you gain.
Right.
Um, but there's some great moments in it too, and I don't regret it. I mean, I'm glad I stuck with it. I think my daughter paid some prices, and my stepdaughter paid some prices, and Shannon paid some prices, and hell, even my ex-wife.
Right.
And um, so I'd say try, and because I put a lot of try into it, and again I stress. I mean, I come from nothing. I had nothing. My family's broke. They're still broke. Um, I didn't have any. I went to a bank when I got in the business. I went to the bank and I said, "Hey, I need to borrow $150,000," and they laughed at me. They're like, "You got a credit of like 525." I'm like, "I don't even know what that means." And you got to think I was in my low 20s.
Right.
And well, how it works is you borrow money, you pay that note off, and you come in, and then we give you more money and you build. I'm like, all right, well, how much will you loan me today? Well, we'll loan you $500. I said, okay. Well, I come in the next morning, I pay my interest and my $500 back, and I'm like, can I get 150,000? They're like, that's not how it works. I'm
You
like,
said,
you just told me that's how it
that's
works.
exactly right.
So this went on for like 6 months, and finally my banker's like, hey, let's have a conversation with the board and see what we can do.
Right.
So they got me approved for, if I remember right, it was $45,000. They're like, how close did that get you? I said, not at all. I said, but I'll take it and I'll try it. And that's what I started with.
Well, and you've done really well with yourself. You got a very successful business now. I was looking through some pictures and stuff, and you have a Ghost Rider sitting on top of your building.
We did, yeah. We had a full scale model made out of PVC pipe of the Ghost Rider,
Wow.
exact specs, and it was sitting on the building quite a few years, and then we had taken it down. And to be honest, we had went through a long string of crashes, and we needed a body, so we stole the body.
Rob him from Peter to pay Paul.
Yeah, so we stole the body off the roof, and then we never put it back on. And then after I had retired, I had got into it with a trash man and with another trash company that's local to us.
Uh huh.
They're very well known. They're LRS, Lakeshore Recycling.
Uh huh.
Um, but that guy, I just went out and said, hey, if you quit tearing up my trash cans. That'd be amazing. He said, if you don't like the way we do business, why don't you open your own and see how easy it is? And me and Shannon was operational in like 14 days.
Really?
Yeah. So I said, okay.
You asked me to do this. Now I'm a thorn in your side. Didn't you tell me
Uh,
the other day you got over 100 employees?
uh, well, between everything we do, so we're partners with Johnny, and then we're starting to dabble into the circus and everything else. So yeah, we have a handful.
So when you say you're dabbling in the circus, I mean that's a whole nother show. But just kind of give us a little. Yeah, so much. Shannon says so much for retirement. That's the truth.
Yeah.
Well, Shannon, you know you married the wrong guy for retirement, young lady. I'll guarantee you that right now. That word retirement's not in his vocabulary at all. But uh, talk to us a little bit about the circus, man. What's up with that?
Yeah, so my partner Johnny, he actually has the circus, and we have so we brought the Unhinged Monster Truck tour back,
Uh huh.
and which him and I partnered in on that. So the Unhinged used to be mine back in the day,
Right.
and and still is, but so we're kind of partnered into that, and then I got him into trucks driving, and now we are negotiating and getting into the circus and. So that's up and running. So yeah, just more things I don't need.
So this is circus like
As
lions,
Shannon's
tigers, and bears.
commenting. Yeah,
Wow.
yes,
Trapeze artists and
yeah.
all. And do you do any trapeze stuff or anything like that, Larry?
I personally don't know. No, I run shit over.
I just had to give you a little shit, man. I mean, I just did because I love you so much, bro. I mean, it's just so tight. You know what? I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Shannon and Sydney, they are so special in my life. I just absolutely love them to death, man. I really do. Your daughter Sydney, she holds such a special part of my life, man. I got to grow up with her in the monster truck business, and I got to grow up with Danny's daughter in the monster truck business, and both of them were very young. And man, I just loved going to shows, and they were there. It was just amazing. So I just thought I'd tell you that, man. They hold a special spot in my heart, man, for sure.
Well, and I think Shannon's still mad at me because before we come up with the trash business, we was going to go to my yacht in Tennessee,
Uh huh.
and we was going to hang out there a year and just see. I don't know, just see what happens. Just retire.
Right.
She's in the background saying retirement.
Yeah.
Um, and then, like I said, I started dabbling in the trash business, and that business like exploded. So, we're a rather large trash company now. Um, so yeah, I mean, we kind of run with that. So we haven't seen our boat in 2 years, but we'll see it eventually.
Sure you will, man. Guaranteed. You know it's always there, and yeah, and every picture I've ever seen you on, you looks like you're having a great time. The picture I like the most is the one though where the jet plane's behind you guys and the helicopter's there, and it looks like it's welcome to another world of lifestyles and the rich and famous because this is
Oh,
ours.
for sure.
I was
Yeah,
like,
for
yeah, look at
sure.
them two, man, going on
Yeah,
it, going out there big dogging it.
yeah. And the name of my boat is Wishful Thinking.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, because it took a lot of wishful thinking, to get there. But
Right. Have you
right
always
now,
had the boat owning bug in you? Have you always wanted to have a boat?
oh yeah, yeah. I bought. I can't remember when I bought that. I've had that. So when we was traveling on the road, we actually used it a lot. When we was crisscrossing back and forth the country, we'd stop at the boat and stay there instead of hotels.
Uh huh.
So, so yeah, I've actually owned it a long time, and I was raised on the Mississippi River, so yeah, I'm definitely a boat fanatic.
There you go. Sydney says she's keeping the boat warm for you.
Yep, she lives there in Tennessee, so she takes care of it and washes it, and keeps it afloat for me. So
There you go. That's well, you know it's in good hands then, right?
yeah, depending on her day, absolutely.
Hey, don't you be talking about my girl that way, man. So, Larry, if somebody rolled up, rolled up to you and said, We want you to come back and do one more show, one more last freestyle. Bring Ghost Rider, get your helmet on, and come out and just have a good time. Are you gonna do it?
I'm not.
You're done.
I'm done.
Well, that's a fair offer. I mean, fair enough answer, man. Uh, did you ever
But
miss it though when you first retired and got out of it? Did you ever miss it like like me when I retired from announcing? That first quarter was tough because I was getting all these phone calls and texts. Man, we wish you were here, and da 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 and blah da da and all that other stuff, and so it was tough for me that first quarter, but after that it was okay. I was okay with it.
so for me, the reason I don't feel I can come back is I don't think I could get the passion back. And if I can't get the passion back, I can't drive.
Right.
Because that's where it all comes from.
Sure.
And it sounds hogwash to some of these guys, but they've never felt it.
Right.
And that's the only thing that makes me drive.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not competing against this dickhead over here that acts like he's cool.
Right.
I don't care about him. And the only thing I've really missed, I traveled for so long. I do really weird stuff now, like mow my own grass. Um, and like I have a dog.
Uh-huh.
Um, yeah, and that's weird because I mean I'd never have pets or anything like that because they're a distraction to the goal I was facing.
Right.
So I couldn't have anything that would ever get in my way to disrupt what I needed to do in my career.
Right.
And so I didn't have dogs or pets or um, we go out to dinner with friends and like this is all really brand new stuff to me still, and that's been really hard to adapt to.
Uh-huh.
Um, and I know it sounds strange to people that are home every day, but like to me, I was gone for 25 years.
Right.
So it's almost like getting out of prison and relearning the world.
Yeah, that's true,
Uh,
man. That's a true statement.
because like from the world I grew up in, we didn't mow our own grass because Flying J don't have grass. It's parking lot.
And you spent a lot of nights in the Flying J, didn't you?
Oh, 100%, in different parking lots and venues, and I mean, chasing radio interviews, TV, and then displays and appearances, and I mean, it went so fast.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it really does go fast. I mean, I look at my time here on this earth now, and I'm just like, damn, what happened? Because I mean, I really actually, I still think that I'm in my early 50s. I still think and act like I am and stuff, and I've overcome a lot of things here lately. Fighting cancers and stuff, and just I still can't believe that I'm the age that I am. And I told my wife the other night. I said, "Dad, just no way." I said, "There's what happened? I think we forgot some years here, and we jumped up to being this old." And I said, I don't know what happened, but I miss part of my life.
Oh, I mean, yeah, it goes so fast. Now, when you grow up, so like when I was in school, I didn't have a ton of friends.
Right.
Um, and mainly because I have a very I don't care about your opinion type attitude.
Uh huh.
I just always have. I mean, it's not like a I don't think it is a negative thing. It's just like I don't know how to explain it. Like I didn't dislike anybody. I just to sit there and listen to you. I mean, it just seemed like I was wasting time. But anyways, I wasn't real connected in school or anything. So like back to what I miss in the monster truck industry, when you come up like that and you have 10,000 people screaming for you,
Yeah.
that's a drug. You see what I mean?
I
So,
know exactly. I know the feeling. I know what you're talking about. I do.
and
Maybe
I've
not as
I've
well as you
always
do, but I know the feeling.
and I've always said, if you are running a freestyle and you look on the sidelines and you got Bill Payne clapping, you got Dan Runte and you got Jess Berge and you got all these greats, and they're like cheering you on and hooping and hollering. That's when you know you done good because they watch it every weekend.
Right, yeah, guaranteed.
And if they're not bored, you better pat yourself on the back.
Well, Larry, I tell
And
you, go
that's
ahead.
the greatness,
Yeah,
and that's the greatness I miss.
yeah, that's the truth, man. I can see where you're coming from that aspect of it all because you just mentioned some of the greatest in the business. You know, I mean, I would put those guys up against a lot of these monster jam drivers today, as far as driving skills and racing and stuff like that. You know, and just just being a monster truck driver, and more than anything, you're not a showman. Just driving a monster truck and creating spectaculars, man. That's what it's all about, guaranteed.
Well, and when I come up to my retirement, if you don't mind talking about it,
No,
um, when I come up to my retirement, um, me and Shannon had a pretty rough night, and not just me, but Jeff Murphy, Justin Murphy. I mean, there were some other people there as well, and
right?
Scott Harsock was killed in a train wreck.
Yep.
Um, we were there, and we had to deal with some very odd situations that night, with promoters and um, the way they wanted to handle things, and that wasn't the industry I grew up in.
Right.
And so after me and Shannon walked through hell for about 14 hours, I believe it was, and we dealt with Scott's family, and we dealt with getting Scott's equipment and everything back home to Florida.
Uh huh.
I finally got to sit in my motorhome, and I sat in my chair, and I leaned back. Probably the first time ever I've never taken my shoes off at the door, and I leaned back and I told Shannon, I said, "We got 54 shows left. We won't do 55." And she looked at me and she's like, "What?" I said, "I'm done." And she's like, "What do you mean you're done?" I'm like, "We're done. We're going home. Like I'm retiring. I'm quitting." And she's like, "Okay." And I don't remember for sure, but I'm pretty sure her and I didn't talk about it much further for a few weeks,
Uh huh.
like after retirement. And I just told her, I said that it's not the same. Like the stuff we was listening to,
Right.
what they wanted to do, and how they handled that wasn't the industry I got into, and that industry is gone, and I no longer belong here.
Yeah.
That's why I quit, and that's why I quit suddenly, and that's why I've never interviewed.
Right. Well, I wasn't going to say anything about it tonight because I just told you I wouldn't. And if you wanted to talk about it, we would. And you know what? You handled it in such a great way, and we all miss him, and it's something that I couldn't imagine being there and watching it happen and having to deal with all the stuff that you did. Uh, I did have one show where somebody got killed, and it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun at all, man. I mean, there was nothing about it. I realized how dangerous the sport really is and what could happen. And you guys weren't even doing a show then, man. It was just driving down the road. But yeah, I totally respect you for that, and uh, you've done great with your life after that, man. So I take my hat off to you, my brother. Larry lost my call. That's what happened. I knew something was going on. Does he want me to try to call him back, Shannon? If not, we can end the show and we can go from there. I can call him back, or he said you'll have to call him back. Okay. So let me get right here for a second. Here, I'll call him one more time, and then we'll end the show here. I knew it was going out. I could hear it.
I don't know what happened there.
Dude, I could hear the cell phone. You were starting to, like when you're going up and down the hills, and how the cell service starts to act funny and stuff. It was doing that, and I thought, well, I'm not driving, and I'm sitting here in one spot, so it must be on your end. But that's okay, man. But You know, dude, like I said, I totally respect you for what you've done. I appreciate you so much for the friendship and the times we had together. And I thank you so much for doing my show, man. I really do. And you brought new people in. And, you know, it was an honor to sit down and talk to you. And yes, I still have the dollar. I forgot to get it to show you, but I still have it. The autographed dollar, I still have it. And it does say, Jeff Richards, you suck on it.
What,
But we'll save that for
what's that?
another time.
What's that been? Over 20 years?
Oh, dude, yeah, it was. You know, and in fact, I think I caught you on a day when you had your fire suit on. And you said, "All I got is this damn dollar in my pocket," and I said, "I'll take it. I'll take it." And you autographed it, and that's why you said, "Jeff Richards, you suck."
Well,
But
I tell you what, my career went way further than I ever thought it would.
uh-huh.
Uh, it's not tragic how it ended. As I said, I realized I no longer belonged there. It wasn't for me anymore.
Right.
And we see a bunch of old timers, I'm going to call them, that are still in it, and they know they don't belong either. They are sticking it out for whatever reason, but they'll still find their time. And that was mine.
Yeah. Well, you picked the right time. Your body was telling you, your mind was telling you, and your heart was telling you that it's no more. And hey, you've gone on to bigger and bigger things, and that's all that matters, man. You're still out there making it happen for you and your family, and that's the way you've always been. So.
And Ghost Rider's still out there, and that's
Yeah.
that's what I always wanted. I wanted it to continue on after I was no more. So.
Right. Well, Larry, I tell you what, I hope one day, somehow, some way, we can meet in person again and sit down and maybe even around your boat and just kick back and talk about the good times and stuff like that. It would be really great to see you and Shannon again, and I'll be awesome to see Sydney too. So, you guys have a great night, and once again, my friend, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
All right, buddy. Talk to you soon.
All right.
All right. Bye-bye. All right, guys. We're going to be back here in just a minute with a little bit of music. So if you guys would like to stick around and listen to some of the stuff that I make, you're more than welcome to. We're not done yet. It's only 7:51. But we got to pay some more bills. I mean, it's always about paying bills. Why is it always about paying bills? Why do we got to do that, Sean Green, it was a fun time for the moments, guaranteed. And I still hold my time spent with you and Iceman and everybody down in Lake Charles, man, with Denver that ran the building, Dustin Dubrock and all that. It was great times, man. And those memories will last me a lifetime. And that's the thing that keeps me going, because I have my memories, and I have good memories of good times. There was never any bad times, maybe one or two, but those are put behind me, and I chose not to think about them anymore. And I've got all the good memories. And then I'm just like Larry, I got a phone full of phone numbers and people that I can call and talk to, or they're coming through and they just want to say hi, or they need help, or something like that, or they need a place to put a truck for a week while they fly home or something like that. I'm always there for you guys, man, and always willing to make it happen for you. So we'll be right back here after we pay some bills right here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
Castle Rock, get ready to fire up the horsepower! The 2026 Poor Boy Cruisers Car Show is rolling into ACC in Castle Rock on Saturday, October 3rd from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Bring out your ride and be part of an incredible day supporting the American Cancer Society, with 100% of the donations going to the cause. Entry fee donation is just $20 cash only, and registration is same day only. The show takes place at ACC Castle Rock, 4500 Limelight Avenue, Castle Rock, Colorado, 800 0109. Enjoy giveaways, a 50-50 raffle, silent auction, specialty trophies, and an awesome lineup of classic cars, customs, trucks, and hot rods. All makes and models are welcome. Don't miss the 2026 Poor Boy Cruisers Car Show in Castle Rock, Saturday, October 3rd, where chrome shines bright and horsepower helps make a difference.
Hey, Pueblo, Colorado, shine 'em up and roll 'em out. The streets are coming alive for the fiesta at Mercado. Motors, truck, bike, and car show. Saturday, September 12th, 2026, from noon till 5 at Mercado Motors, 2834 Lake Avenue in Pueblo. Bring the whole family out for an afternoon packed with lowriders, hot rods, classic cars, trucks, motorcycles, SUVs, and those beautiful lowrider bikes. Enjoy live entertainment, food vendors, family activities, mechanical bull, kids area, raffles, trophies, and non-stop fun. Chrome will shine, engines will rumble, and Pueblo will celebrate car culture the way it was meant to be. The Fiesta at Mercado Motors Truck, Bike, and Car Show, Saturday, September 12th, noon to 5. Don't just hear about it. Be there!
Hey, lug nuts, need a pick-me-up to start your day. There's a place in Parker that'll get you going. Rise and Grind Coffee has bold espresso, strong coffee, smooth lattes, plus chai teas and cold. Smoothies, regular or decaf, whatever you're in the mood for. Hungry, grab a hot breakfast burrito or a fresh muffin, quick, simple, and ready to roll. Got something coming up, any event or party you're planning, they've got a portable coffee cart that brings the coffee right to you. Fresh drinks served on site. Local spot, good coffee, good people. Rise and Grind Coffee, fueling your day, one cup at a time.
And now, we return to pedal to the metal. Motors and music. With your host, Roller.
Hey guys, we're back. We just got done finished talking to Larry Quick, the Ghost Ryder man himself. And if Shannon, if you're still on here, we definitely want to get you on the show and talk to you about girl power and stuff like that. So we'll reach out to you again here soon and talk to you guys. But I've been blessed in my life with my work, especially. I absolutely have two jobs that I absolutely enjoyed doing. I enjoyed the monster truck business, and I enjoy my auctioneering. I'm still doing my auctioneering to this day, and thank God for that. And it's been something that has taken us from a 2-bedroom apartment to a place out in the country with land and stuff like that, with good equity built up in the house and stuff. And it's been I had to work for it, and I had to miss a lot of things, but I knew in the long run it was good for it. Well, the other day I was blessed again by a gentleman by the name of Johnny Blender. And Johnny Blender has a radio station down in Louisiana. And this is a full blown radio station, but he runs it out of his garage. And he does top 40 stuff. And I mean, it's totally a real radio station. And he reaches out all over the world. And he called me and he said, I was introduced to Johnny by a friend of mine by the name of Texas Rich. He has C10 America magazine, another great friend of mine. And anyway, Johnny said, you know, Roller, he said, I've been listening to your music and I want to put you on my show. And he said, I want to give you a time slot and let you give you a platform to play your songs. And you know, when he told me this, nothing happened right away, you know, and I'd kind of forgotten about it a little bit. And then he called me here a couple weeks ago, and he said, "Okay," he said, "I'm ready to start putting you on the air." And he says, "I need 7 songs from you, and I need you to do an intro, and I need you to do this for me and that." And he gave me some tasks, and we got it all done. And I listened last Monday to the first one, and it absolutely gave me chills to hear and to know that my music is going out all over the world on this radio station and people are listening to it. When my he sent me some numbers here the other day, and he said that when my songs, because usually he has people that listen for a minute and they get out and they get off and do all this. He said that we had over 12,000 people listening. And he said we would have had more, but the military is on cell phone blackout right now. And he said we have a big presence in the military. And he said, you know, as soon as they get off their cell phone blackout, he said we'll pick up over 66,000 people listening to the show. And he said, I have numbers I can show you. He says, I can show you exactly how many people were on at certain times and what they stayed and listened to and stuff like that. And so anyway, he called me back at the beginning of the week and he said, okay, we need some more songs. He says, we're going to make your hour a permanent deal for a while here. He never give me a time frame or anything like that, but he said, I need more songs. And he sent a morning email out this morning to all the show hosts, and he told them, hey, we need you to support a ship called the USS New York. And it's the USS New York LPD 21. And this ship was made out of the steel from the Twin Towers. So this ship's a pretty special ship, really, to be honest with you, in my book. I really enjoy hearing stuff like that we took a tragedy and we've turned it into this awesome ship that is amazing. So if you guys get a chance, look it up, read the story about the USS New York, and it's the LPD 21. Anyway, Johnny didn't ask, but I made a song for all the men and women on this ship. And I don't know when he's going to play it, but hopefully, and I don't know if they're on cell phone blackout still or not, but I hope they like it. And this song here is called Steel in Her Bow. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
This song goes out to the men and women of the USS New York, LPD 21. From a September morning when the whole world changed, from smoke above Manhattan and a nation wrapped in pain, they gathered up the steel where those mighty towers stood, and America said, build her strong and make that memory good. 7.5 tons
were given life again. Not buried in the ashes, but carried by women and men. Now she wears the name New York upon her battle gray and carries those we lost with her. Every mile she makes, from ground zero to the ocean, from the harbor to the blue, there's a piece of American history sailing with her crew. There's steel in her bow and courage on her decks, a promise to remember and a debt we won't forget. Sailors stand and watch tonight, Marines prepared to go, guarding all we love beneath that red, white, and blue. When the sea gets rough and the night comes down, they stand there watching, they hold their ground. Strength forged through sacrifice, that's the vow. God bless the men and women with steel in her bow. Some work beneath the waterline where daylight never shines. Some turn the wrenches, tend the engines, keep her running through the night. Some stand upon the flight deck with the salt against their face. Some leave that well deck headed toward an unfamiliar place. There are mothers, sons, and daughters. There are husbands, wives, and friends who kiss the ones they love goodbye, not knowing when they'll meet again. They don't ask for recognition, they just answer when they're called. And the name across that stern reminds them what they carry for us all. And somewhere back in New York, a name is carved in stone. A family still remembers someone who never made it home. But part of what was taken still sails the world somehow. The towers may be gone, but their strength is in her bow. USS New York, LPD 21. Born from sacrifice, still sailing strong. Here's to every sailor who has walked her passageways, and every United States Marine who served aboard her grave. You carry New York City, you carry those we lost, you carry first responders who never counted up the cost. And wherever New York sails, beneath the stars, a morning sun, America remembers September 11, 2001. There's steel in her bow and courage on her decks, a promise to remember and a debt we won't forget. Sailors stand and watch tonight, Marines prepared to go, guarding all we love beneath that red, white, and blue. Let the whole world hear it when her colors fly. She was born from sorrow, but she sails with pride. Strength forged through sacrifice, that's the vow. God bless the men and women with steel in her bow. USS New York, LPD 21. Strength forged through sacrifice. Never forget.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen, right there. Steel in her bow. We salute you, ladies and gentlemen of the USS New York, and we wish you the best. Please come home safe, if you would, please. All right, guys, right here is a song. This is some of the country stuff that I've made throughout the time here. And this one here is called If Heaven Has a Honky Tonk. We'll be right back here on Pedal to the Metal, Motors and Music.
If heaven has a honky-tonk, there's a band on every stage, playing every country classic from every golden age. The fiddle starts the evening, the steel guitar still cries, and every song reminds you why good music never dies. Old friends gather round you with a smile upon their face. No strangers in this old dance hall, just amazing saving grace. No broken hearts, no lonely tears, no hurt to drag along. Just an endless Friday evening filled with one more country song. If heaven has a honky-tonk, save me one bar stool by the door, where the jukebox never quits and they dance across the floor. If heaven has a honky-tonk, let the neon softly glow, with a cold one on the counter and the best old songs we know. I'll shake the hands I've missed so much and hug the ones I've lost. Thank the good Lord for His mercy and the rugged old wooden cross. If heaven has a honky-tonk, that's where you'll find me someday, listening to that country band while the angels play. There's a waitress with a warm smile who knows us all by name. Every story gets a laugh instead of sorrow or blame. Mama's smiling in the corner, Daddy's tapping with the beat. Grandpa's wearing polished boots while keeping perfect time with his feet. The dance floor's always crowded with couples hand in hand. Every step another memory to the greatest country band. Nobody's counting minutes, nobody's watching clocks, 'cause forever starts the moment heaven unlocks. If heaven has a honky-tonk, save me one bar stool by the door, where the jukebox never quits and they dance across the floor. If heaven has a honky-tonk, let the neon softly glow, with a cold one on the counter and the best old songs we know. I'll shake the hands I've missed so much and hug the ones I've lost. Thank the good Lord for His mercy and the rugged old wooden cross. If heaven has a honky-tonk, that's where you'll find me someday, listening to that country band while the angels play. Every prayer becomes a melody, every memory turns to light, every goodbye is forgotten in that everlasting night. The music never fades away, the love will never end. Every song's another blessing shared with family and friends. If heaven has a honky-tonk, I know exactly where I'll be, standing with the ones I love who are waiting there for me. The pedal steel will sing again, the fiddle will always fly, and every note will lift our hearts beneath that endless sky. Until that day, I'll live this life with faith to guide me through. And when my time on earth is done, I'll be singing there with you. If heaven has a honky-tonk, there's a band on every stage, and love's the only song they play.
There you go, Robert Haas. Have a good night, man. Stay afloat on the boat, man. Enjoy yourself. That one there was called If Heaven Had a Honky Tonk. This next song up here is called Whiskey Wasn't the Problem.
That old neon sign still flickers just like it always has. The bartender knows my story every time he fills my glass. Folks around this little tavern say the whiskey did me wrong, but they're only hearing echoes. They never heard the whole song. I blamed every empty bottle for the mess that I became. Found 100 different reasons, anything but me to blame. You begged me just to hold you while I chased another night. I was losing what mattered most long before the bourbon bite. Whiskey wasn't the problem, it just hid the truth from me. It couldn't break forever if forever was meant to be. The bottle never walked away, it never slammed that door. It only helped me overlook what I was living for. The hardest thing I've ever done was staring at my soul, knowing I was holding the glass, but I was the one letting go. Whiskey wasn't the problem, I finally know the truth. The biggest thing I ever lost was you. Now your picture hangs in silence where the mirror used to be, and every morning brings another lesson life keeps teaching me. I've traded late night bar stools for a sunrise on the porch, trying to become the man your love was always reaching for. If somebody hears this story sitting where I used to sit, don't blame what's in that bottle for every little bit. The answer starts inside you when you find the strength to see. The hardest road to travel is called responsibility. Whiskey wasn't the problem, it never made one choice. It never spoke in anger with my own stubborn voice. Love was standing right beside me while I chased another drink, and by the time I finally stopped, she'd already quit believing. If I could turn one page back, Lord, I'd choose her every time. I traded
problem. Now I understand. The problem was the man I was before I became this man.
Whiskey wasn't the problem right here on Pedal to the Metal Motors and Music. And Cousin Debbie, if you're going over to Montana, please drive carefully. Thank you for the heads up. We always wonder where our every week listeners are if they're not on and saying hi and what's up. So just drive careful if you would, please. We're going to play 2 more songs, guys, and then we're going to call it a night. Got a busy day tomorrow. Got to get ready for a busy week. So anyway, this first song here is called Beer, Women, and Whiskey. And then my buddy Robert Haas has asked me to play a Bobcat Bob for him as we go out. So I'm going to go ahead and do a back-to-back songs, and then we're going to call it a night. So you guys, once again, thanks for Larry Quick being on the show. It was a great interview, and it's just an honor to be able to be one that got to listen to him do an interview after he turned so many down. So I feel blessed about that. So like I said, this first one here is called Beer, Women, and Whiskey. You guys have a blessed week. Stay close and have a lot of fun doing whatever you're doing, and hug those loved ones if you would, please. I love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.
I was 18 years old with a wild streak inside, a pickup truck, a paycheck, and too much pride. Thought I had life figured out underneath those neon lights, chasing every pretty smile on a Friday night. Mama said, son, there's a price you'll pay for living too fast and running that way. But I just laughed and said I'll be just fine with a bottle and a dance floor, taking all my time. Beer, women, and whiskey, that's all I thought I'd ever need. A jukebox playing old country songs and a bar stool waiting there for me. Beer, women, and whiskey kept this old heart running wild. I had a good time losing my way, but I lost myself for a while. Glass, wondering where the good years passed. Had some good friends, had some broken dreams, and some memories somewhere in between. I loved a few that I should have held tight, let a good woman walk out of my life. Now every time that old jukebox plays, I think about my younger days. Beer, women, and whiskey, that's all a jukebox playing old country songs and a bar stool waiting there for me. Beer, women, and whiskey kept this old heart running wild. I had a good time losing my way, but I lost myself for a while.
smile. But I learned there's more to a man's life than chasing trouble every mile. Myself. So here's to the nights and the lessons learned, the bridges crossed and the bridges burned, an old guitar and a memory of beer, women and whiskey. Silverton town, New Jersey kid with engines on his mind. By 12 years old, he was turning wrenches, mini bikes racing down the county line. At 13, Joe Gilman by his side, a 43 Willys became their ride. Marble mystery fluid brought it back to life. They drove that Jeep till it finally mechanic child. Dropped out young at 17 years old, headed south where the winters don't blow. Union job and he put his time in 4 long years working Disney World. Then in 85 a girl named Lisa walked into his life and changed it all. Married in 86, side by side, Chris and Kelsey answered the call. He's Bobcat Bob, born for the grind, big wheels turning in a hard rock mine. From Jersey dirt to the Florida sun, he built his life one job at a time. Yeah, Bobcat Bob never backed down, built it from the ground up, working the ground. Big ties, thunder, and the crowd goes wild, but it's still that Jersey mechanic child.
heart surgery in a hospital gown. The tough men fight when there's work to do, and Bob came back stronger than new. Now the best part of life has come around. Little footsteps running through the yard. Two grandsons laughing loud and proud. Two granddaughters with hearts so large. Every weekend the same old line. Gramps, when we gonna ride that ride? Gramps, when we gonna fire it up? Gramps, when we gonna work on the truck? He's Bobcat Bob, still on the grind. Big wheels turning in a rock hard mine. From silver and dirt to the Florida sun, he built his life one job at a time. With Lisa beside him and family strong, 4 little grandkids singing along. Yeah, life's been good and the road rolls on for Bobcat Bob, still getting it done.
All right, everyone, that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Pedal to the Metal. I want to send out a huge thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in and supporting the show. I also want to thank all of our amazing sponsors. You're the ones that help keep the wheels turning, and we truly appreciate you. Be sure to join us every Wednesday and Sunday. We kick things off with music at 6 p.m. each night, and the full show starts at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. Until next time, keep the pedal down, heads high, and we'll see you at the next show.